Hey everyone, this is SSG, aka Sergeant Sentinel, and welcome to another video. I greatly appreciate you checking it out. Now, today's video is about Grand Theft Auto 6. There have been a lot of crazy rumors that have come out, so I'm going to talk about some of those, but we're also going to talk about setting realistic expectations with Rockstar's next huge open world adventure. Grand Theft Auto 6 is obviously probably one of the most anticipated, if not the most anticipated games coming up in all of gaming, and of course that's because of Rockstar's huge, their reputation for delivering amazing open world games, and essentially each game that they've delivered has gotten better, and they learn from their mistakes. They also want to incorporate new things while not being too repetitive, so with each iteration they do change things a little bit. However, before we jump into this topic fully, I do want to say thank you to everyone who is watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, Sergeant Sentinel Gaming, definitely do so. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button. If you know someone who may find it entertaining or may enjoy it as well, share it with them. And hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new content to my channel. Now, Grand Theft Auto 6 has been in the works for some time. The last entry in the Grand Theft Auto franchise, Grand Theft Auto 5, actually came out 2 generations ago. It came out on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. It was later ported to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And of course, they released current generation versions for the Xbox Series consoles and the PlayStation 5. The thing that has really kept this franchise alive, of course, is the Grand Theft Auto Online component. And that's been a very polarizing topic for a lot of Rockstar fans. I say polarizing because some people absolutely love Grand Theft Auto Online, some people don't. And for those of you that don't know, in 2015 the decision was made, rather than release a single-player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5, much like how a single-player DLC was released for Grand Theft Auto 4, actually 2. The Lost and Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony. They were 2 standalone single-player games that were in the Grand Theft Auto 4 universe. Now, of course, plans were made for this to happen with Grand Theft Auto 5, but they canceled these to reallocate these resources to focus on Grand Theft Auto Online, which was pretty much printing Rockstar Games tons and tons of money. And when I say tons and tons of money, they've made at least 5 times the amount of money with Grand Theft Auto Online, keep in mind this is microtransactions and stuff like that, than they have on selling copies of Grand Theft Auto 5. So they saw the writing on the wall, and obviously they wanted to capitalize on that. Now, they've had tons of content. A lot of times they release free content as well, and it's more from the Shark card purchases that allows you to get millions of dollars of in-game money that they've come up with the huge amount of cash that has come from Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, Rockstar Games has received a lot of heat from this. Some people enjoy it, some people don't, and the people that don't have given them a lot of flack over it. However, that's not to say that Grand Theft Auto is a franchise that's going to be online only. I think that Rockstar Games has demonstrated that they still care about the single-player community, and with Grand Theft Auto 6 being such a huge title with so many in-game features for people who enjoy single-player, it's going to endear them once again to the gamers that enjoy single-player types of experiences. Now, there's a crazy leak, and the article for this is actually on comicbook.com. I will link it below so you can check it out. According to this leak, there are a crazy number of side activities for players basically just to spend hours and hours doing. Now, if you remember about Grand Theft Auto 5, it had a ton of just side activities. Different types of races. Of course, you had Flight School. Now, the Flight School obviously was part of the story, but it was only really necessary for one character, no spoilers. But, of course, with all 3 characters, you could go back, you could play through this, but that's just one type of activity, like the marathons that you could take part in, the triathlons. There were so many activities in Grand Theft Auto 5 that for single-player gamers, it gave them something to really do in-game, aside from the main story, as well as interacting with side characters and stuff. Now, the side activities, it doesn't really specify how many of these are going to be side characters, and Grand Theft Auto is known for having interesting and curious side characters with their own backstories, their own motivations, and dependent on how involved they are with the protagonist or protagonists, it adds more depth to the story. And I know Rockstar Games has developed a well-deserved reputation for really fully fleshing a lot of these characters out. Even the smaller ones, they still want them to be compelling and to be interesting. And so for there to be, tons of these side activities, I think the number included in the article says there's over 500 world events, side activities, and Easter eggs. And that number is crazy, Now, that's not to say, this is according to the leak, whenever the game footage and all that was leaked and dumped on the internet, there was tons of stuff that Rockstar Games wasn't ready to show the public. So you can consider this kind of a work in progress. That's not to say all of this stuff is going to actually stay in game. Rockstar could change a lot of this. And because of that, it's one of those things. You take this bit of information, you put it in the back of your head, and you're like, all right, well, I'm tracking now that there could be tons, and there probably will be. But as far as specific ones, like Backyard Wrestling, Bonnie and Clyde Mystery, it's like the ones that are included that these data miners found, they could be in the end game. They could be. And you can see the full list of some of these activities in the article. Again, I will link it below the video. But the thing to remember is not all of these may stay in the game. They may make it to the end product. They may not. So take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, just put it in the back of your head and say, okay, I've read about them, now I'm aware of them. But don't necessarily plan on all of these making the final cut. Also, something else that the two main characters that are in Grand Theft Auto 6 may not necessarily have a romantic relationship, and that kind of opens the door. You remember Grand Theft Auto 4, Nico Bellic could have different girlfriends and stuff, and so it kind of opens the door for the two characters to have their own relationships outside of their business relationship with one another. Again, this is all speculation at this point, and Rockstar Games hasn't really made any official statements about this. Now, Rockstar Games, they don't even go to E3. So, E3 for years was the biggest stage for gaming. And everybody was going. Activision, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Microsoft, Nintendo, PlayStation. Back in the day when Rockstar was really impressing a lot of people, all these huge companies would go to E3. And they would show what they had. Rockstar never would. Rockstar would have their own event, and the reason for that is because Rockstar considered themselves bigger than E3, and they were. Love them or hate them. 90% of gamers out there, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, if they didn't buy it first day, they're going to be thinking about it, or they're going to be watching videos. It's going to be on everybody's minds, because Grand Theft Auto 6 is that big of a game. Now, again, with the footage that was leaked, there's a lot that came out that I don't think Rockstar Games was ready for. It feels like the footage that we saw was alpha or possibly pre-alpha. With them working out the physics of like the recoil of a fully automatic rifle, stuff like that. They were showing like the bullet paths, whenever you're firing a weapon fully automatic, and they were showing the reaction that the AI was going to have, like police officers whenever they're closing ground with you. And they were showing how a heist inside basically the Grand Theft Auto version of a Waffle House went. So it looks like everything we got that was leaked was meant for Rockstar Games to really work out all of these systems at a very basic level so that they could put it back in Grand Theft Auto 6 and have it work flawlessly. Now, of course, there are going to be glitches with every single game. Grand Theft Auto games are no exception, but I feel like out of all the developers out there, the Grand Theft Auto experiences are always the most polished. And I think a lot of these things that are leaking, they could be in the works, but until Rockstar Games has them polished to a point where they're ready to show them, they're not going to talk about them. And that's why I said take a lot of this with a grain of salt. Don't really pay too much mind to some of this. Now, something I've heard, and I heard it with this version, is that they were going to require you to put like gasoline in cars. Don't believe that, because I heard that way back whenever they were talking about Grand Theft Auto 5. back before it was ever revealed, they said, "Oh, with Grand Theft Auto 5, you're going to have to put gas in your cars or they'll run out." Okay, if you're basically being chased by police across, half the map, and your car runs out of gas, it's going to completely kill the mood that they're trying to set with this police chase. So I feel like, again, that's one of the things that Rockstar Games entertains time and time again, but they're just like, no, we're just not going to do that because, you're going to have to spend so much time stopping and filling up gas. Because think about it like this, okay? All around the San Andreas map is like, 20, 25 miles. Essentially, even with a gas guzzler, you could drive around that 6 or 7 times. So what they would have to do is they basically have to greatly decrease the fuel mileage of a lot of these cars, which, again, would just kill the experience. It just makes no sense to put that stuff in. And that's why I said with, like, a lot of these side activities, it depends on the final vision that they want for the game, the experiences that they want the player to encounter, and some of these may get cut because they're too controversial. You can see in the article, some of them look a little controversial. Some of them just may not make sense from the storytelling perspective that Rockstar Games is going for, because they want a certain feel for the world that Grand Theft Auto 6 is taking place in. A modern-day Vice City, which is basically Rockstar's version of Miami. But it also includes the surrounding area, which is Florida. And as many of us know, a lot of shit that happens in Florida is absolutely crazy. So Rockstar Games wants to capitalize on that, but I also feel that if something just doesn't fit with their version or their vision regarding Grand Theft Auto 6, they're going to cut it. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I will link that comic book article below so you can check it out. If you do enjoy this video, definitely hit the like button. If you have something to say about it in the comment section below, or just Grand Theft Auto in general, definitely leave your comments. I'd love to read them. If you know someone that may enjoy this video, definitely share it with them. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please take this opportunity to do so. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new content. This is Sergeant Sentinel. Take it easy, gamers.